tough market. James Ware's at their warehouse in downtown Beaumont, where they not only put it together, they package it. And this is an interesting product, James.
Yeah. It is, and it's not an easy, like you said, not an easy market to break into, but this local company out of Beaumont, Texas, Overtime, has found its niche and has gotten into the market, doing well. Actually, it surprised me that you've been in business since 2008, but just steadily growing every year. Charlie Throckmorton.
Absolutely. Again, we started out in the industrial side. That's still the majority of our business, but we are gradually getting into the retail arena, and hopefully we'll be successful there as well.
Yeah. Dan was asking, this is more of the industrial bags that go in the coolers, and he was wanting to show us how that works, and it's a good point, because the cleanliness of it is what the big thing is what I see.
Yes, these are pre-mixed, again, sanitized bags. Simply remove the dust cover. You slide this on, breach the seal, and it's ready to go. This right here screws on the back side of the spigot. Once this goes into the cooler, dump ice on it until it's gone. And these will last 10 to 12 days easily, continually re-iced.
Right, you can just pour your ice back on top of that, and it's good to go. And a lot of these, you do a lot of your business in the refineries.
That's exactly right. No mixing, no cross-contamination issues, not worried about diluting the product with melting ice. This is the best delivery system on the market.
And of course, we talked about these bags, Dan, but again, this is my favorite part. I mean, this isn't your normal bag. I mean, this is, that's it. It's good to go. It's steady and not a... I'm impressed with that. I don't know why. It's just impressive. But again, what separates Overtime? What makes it different than the other products out there?
Well, number one, we're sugar-free. Number two, we are lower in sodium than our competitors, and we are considerably higher in electrolytes, which equates to 3 types of potassium. Your body does not produce, nor does it retain potassium. This right here, for a hot day's work or play, there's nothing better for the body.
Yeah, and we talked about that in refineries. They log all this. People that are dehydrated, doing different cramping, things like that, they log all this. And that's why they come to you for getting this out there for those welders that sweat all day and they need that electrolyte buildup.
Yeah. During the winter months, even working around heat radiating equipment, again, such as a welder, working by a boiler, you're wearing fire retardant clothing, you still need hydration.
Sure. Some of the other products Melissa was showing us, again, you have the drinks, but that's the individual packets that have become so popular now. Put the lid on, shake it up, good to go.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I was noticing the Power Pops, and those are the ones that we see in the stores now. H-E-B carries all this in more than 300 locations now?
That is correct. They're packed 5 per individual pack, 1 of each flavor, and they are in H-E-B, and hopefully that's just the beginning.
I see the crates, everything's good to go, get shipped out everywhere. And back behind us, you've got the, what do you call it, where you're storing the big 3 and 5 gallon?
They're called Gaylord bins. Again, Marlon will demonstrate filling the bag. For 5 gallons, it takes roughly about 9 seconds. Once that bag is filled, that's a one-way check valve that goes through. There's no backflow. Just recap with a dust cover. Once that's done, they are placed in the Gaylord bin.
Again, a lot of stuff ready to go out. I mean, you keep stock.
Exactly. There's actually a year shelf life to this product. Everything we do is shelf stable, by the way. And they're shipped in these Gaylord bins. You can see 1 of each flavor. They're 42 5-gallon bags per bin.
Okay. We talked about the sugar-free, but diabetics, this is a popular drink for them because that's what they have to have. They can't get the high levels of sugar.
Absolutely. Close to 20% of the population are diabetic or borderline diabetic or are diabetic and do not realize it. And we have, there are close to 10% that have issues with hypertension. So consequently, we are sugar-free, lower in sodium, and higher in potassium than any competition.
Yeah, and also I saw something on your website about time release, and what is that referring to?
We have an ingredient called maltodextrin. You'll see it. It's very common in bodybuilding and protein powders, and it is a complex carbohydrate that gives you sustainable energy with no crash.
Hey, James.
One other machine you talked about, and you're very impressed with this one. Dan's got a question too, but tell us a little about that. Let me hear what Dan had to say. What were you going to ask, Dan?
No, I was just going to ask, do they consider themselves to be an energy drink or an electrolyte, replacement sports drink?
Yeah, sports drink, electrolytes, or energy drink. Where would you classify
We
Overtime?
classify this as an isotonic. It is it's in that sports drink category from a retail standpoint.
Sure.
But having electrolytes, it's actually classified as an isotonic beverage.
Sure. And again, this machine that you were so proud of, you've mentioned it a couple
This is
times.
very unique. This was the machine, it's called a silver ion machine that was actually used on the space shuttles initially. And once the water is purified and the chlorine is taken out of it, then it has no means of sanitizing itself. Silver ion, it does not put heavy metals in the water, but it does create nanoparticles that's antimicrobial. And I don't know of any other antimicrobial water in existence if it does not go through the silver ion process. And we put it in a polyfoil poly bag. And again, the shelf life on this bag, they're testing this. This machine here is 8 years old, and they made water with this in Kentucky, and it's still potable after 8 years. So it still can be consumed.
Yeah.
Silver ion system that has a lot of medicinal values.
Again, Dan, one of those places, I mean, who would have known, right here in Beaumont, big warehouse, and just one of those behind the scenes. Charlie, thanks for taking us on the tour.
you.
Allowing us to
Appreciate
come
it.
inside. Again, if you want to see their drinkovertime.com is their website. If you want to read a little more of the history of the place, you can certainly do so.
I got one more question for you, James, and it's this. How far reaching are they? How far are they shipping? How large is their market at this point?
That's a good question. Yeah, Dan's asking about how outreaching are you? How far out do you ship?
Currently, as far west as we go is New Mexico in the White Sands, but we ship Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Tennessee, Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi. But we could ship anywhere.
Yeah,
So
and again,
we're not
reaching out to the
restricted.
Little League organizations as well. They're starting to have it in their dugouts and whatnot. And just continuing to grow right here in Southeast Texas.
We'll keep an eye on it. Thanks, James. Again, we send James out looking for people, places, and things that make us what we are. Another good example. Next time you see Overtime, you'll know, hey, it was made right here in Beaumont. 6 away from the top of the hour. Coming up next, we'll wrap things up with a look at your forecast and a look ahead, see what's coming up on the Tuesday edition of the Morning Show.
Every citizen of Beaumont needs to watch this important message. Have your irrigation backflow preventers checked annually by a state licensed tester. Backflow preventers protect your drinking water supply by keeping pollutants such as herbicides